Well, hey now. Welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, love it if you would subscribe. You don't get spammed with stuff. It just simply comes up when you look at your subscriptions on YouTube. If you don't already know, most of you do. Like would be also awesome, would help. Trying to build my subscriber base, but I don't like to be too pushy about it. But there you go. Thank you very much for your support. Appreciate it. So today, I am doing another episode or segment called Mood Music. So I've done this, I haven't done this in a while. The idea of this is that sometimes when I think about a certain type of mood that I might be in, there's music that complements that mood. It helps to reinforce it. And today I'm going to look at spring music or music for spring. It doesn't relate to specifically the theme of spring. It's more, when I was younger, I would put together compilation tapes, as I'm sure many of you guys did, you folks did. And spring always seemed to be a time, I don't know if it's when the hormones or the sense of rebirth or, finally I'm waking up from my winter of discontent. And the stuff that I listened to was often quite different, and it would tend to be more poppy, energetic, and I would put compilations together, and they'd be things like Spring in Your Step or Welcome the New Hormones, or those would be kind of the titles of the compilations that I would do. And they would be mostly dominated by 7-inch singles, which tend to be a little bit more sort of poppy or melodic, I guess you might say. And so I actually had that feeling yesterday. I came home, I went for a walk, I came home, and I suddenly reached for the Replacements album, Pleased to Meet Me, and put on the track Can't Hardly Wait. Just a fantastic Replacement song among a really great, stellar catalog. But that song for me always just makes me smile, and I always picture the video. If you don't know the story about the Replacements video, very briefly, they were very resistant to doing any kind of commercial video work. And so with Can't Hardly Wait, if you go onto YouTube and look at that, it's basically, I think it's Tommy, but it's somebody just sitting in a chair. It's a POV shot, and you just see them like smoking a cigarette with an old, like a really simple, basic stereo. And the whole song is that, and I think he's smoking a cigarette, and there's a few Replacement videos that are like that, and it's just a complete FU to the industry machine, I think, and I love that, and of course it was very on brand for the Replacements, and I don't think they were thinking about on brand. It was just their nature, their character. So yeah, this particular record, I lost my Replacements Pleased to Meet Me in one of those nasty little water incidents that I constantly reference. But this is a really nice Rhino box set, still very available. It's got a lot of, they released the album, like the vinyl, as rough mixes. So one of the, I guess, complaints about this from some people was that this was slick. It was a little bit slick. I think Jim Dickinson produced this, but yeah, all the liner notes are kind of buried in the box. So I think it's great. Like, I love Tim and I love this. This one definitely is a step up in terms of production, not necessarily a step forward, but I really love this record. I think it's a great record. There's a lot of beautiful songs on here. Nevermind is great. Alex Chilton in particular, standout song. The Ledge is awesome, about basically preparing to commit suicide. Happy topic. Nightclub Jitters, a really great cocktail tune. It's just packed full of great stuff. I Owe You. I always think when you talk about songs off of an album and people are going, what about this one? Why doesn't he mention this one? That's my favorite. That's one of the great things about doing all these things, is we each have different favorites, and it's great when we connect on the same ones, but it's also fun to hear about other people's favorites and why they think they're great. But back to the mood music focus. So Can't Hardly Wait off of the Replacements, Pleased to Meet Me, just absolute pop gold with a good like driving beat that the Replacements were always really good at. Now we go back into the vaults, into the old days, and Alice Cooper. So Alice Cooper is one of my earliest high school favorites. Seemed like everybody was high school bands were all playing 18, the song 18, which is off this record, as well as any band that came in and played a high school dance would be playing 18. But this album, Love It to Death, this might have been the first Alice Cooper record that I got. Excellent record, does have, as I say, I'm 18, but the one for me is It My Body? Just slinky, fun, and greasy, kind of got the beginnings of Greasy and Dirty, Is It My Body? Alice Cooper, that song. Again, these are songs that I would say that sometimes I would just drop the needle on that one song and play it, and it wouldn't be disrespect to the rest of the album, but it would just be like, I gotta hear that song, Is It My Body, off of Alice Cooper's Love It to Death. For me, would be one such song. Again, mood music. Just feeling like, the flowers are coming up, there's, my hormones are raging, starting to feel positivity, there's a whole new beginning. And another one on that list, Concrete Blonde. Concrete Blonde, what is her name? So, Napolitano. So yeah, Jeanette Napolitano. Believe it's an LA band. The reason I say that is because they've got the song Still in Hollywood, which is just great. And they also cover Beware of Darkness, the George Harrison song, which is amazing. But Still in Hollywood is the one for me that I put that on, and it's just like, oh, I get so revved up. I just love that song. Concrete Blonde. So drawing on a lot of the stuff from probably the 80s, really, where a lot of this material was when I was doing my compilation cassettes and things like that. Soul Mining, a couple singles off of this. This Is the Day and Uncertain Smile. And this is the day, again, sort of the thematic idea of just jumping out of bed. Now, when you really listen to the lyrics, Matt Johnson is not generally talking about happy stuff, but this is a great record, and This Is the Day. Just pull back the curtains. The sun gets into your eyes. Just great opening lines. Soul Mining. I wanted to put on Lloyd Cole and the Commotions as well, but those albums have also somehow not survived. Something off of like Brand New Friend, where he references Walking in the Rain, Walking with Jesus and Jane, I think. Sounds like a reference to Lou Reed and Sweet Jane, at least to my ears. Another one that always did it for me is REM. And this was my first brush with REM, I guess. I believe it's their second full-length album, Reckoning. And this one, there's just so many songs on here. And of course, Don't Go Back to Rockville is really great. But for me, the one that I would do the needle drop on, or I'd put on a compilation, Pretty Persuasion. It just leaps off of the grooves. The drumming by Bill Berry is just so good. Am I getting that right? It's been so long since I've talked about REM. But really, really good. Pretty Persuasion, REM, off of Reckoning. Next up, can't go wrong with New Order. And you know what? I don't even remember which track. I just remember there's a few on here that I really love. But this, what was amazing about New Order was just how incredibly, Age of Consent. What was amazing was that New Order, coming out of the ashes of Joy Division. Joy Division had they were kind of the epitome of post-punk, right? And had that edge to them. Age of Consent, basically New Order recrafted the whole idea of kind of a modern pop song, bringing the synths in many ways. But there was a heaviness and a power to New Order, and Age of Consent was a great example of that. Again, my needle drop for spring mood music. That was my original release. Got the little die cut in there, which is great. Another band that was just killer, The Only Ones. Now, this is one that probably, if you don't know anything about The Only Ones, you know this one track, Another Girl from Another Planet. The Replacements actually covered this often when they'd play live. That song still is just one of the greats, and deserving of any kind of spring energy compilation. It's a wonderful one. Pete Parrott and the remainder of The Only Ones. A modern one. So This is a guy that I just love. Daniel Romano is out of Welland, Ontario, up here in Canada. He is incredibly prolific. I've mentioned him on a couple other episodes, but this one is called How Ill, what is it called again? How Ill Thy World is Ordered. This one's got a few on it, but the one that in particular I love is A Rat Without a Tail. Just beautiful power pop. He did this, it's Daniel Romano's outfit. He does some of his records all like solo. He plays all the instruments, Prince or Stevie Wonder in the past as well. But his band, The Outfit, is also a stellar band. Very interesting artist to track. He does everything from power pop to 70s AOR to progressive rock. He's got so many different outputs or different styles that he does, and each one he seems to do just exquisitely. He seems to own the style. It doesn't look like he's doesn't feel almost like an homage. It feels like he's wearing the skin of that particular style, and very well. So Daniel Romano, Rat Without a Tail, off of How Ill Is Thy World Ordered. How Ill Thy World is Ordered. First Blondie record. This was the first one that I got into. Having seen them open up for Iggy Pop many, many years ago in 77, I think, 77, 78. Just a great record, like girl group pop, even though there's really only one girl in the group, and that was Debbie Harry. But just bouncy, bubbly kind of stuff. Lots off of this, but the first track, not the title track, the first track, Ex Offender, just great, just bounces, and Clem Burke's drumming, I've talked about that before, just fantastic. But the sound, the production, it's Richard Gotterer, who is a famous sort of pop producer, really, really good. Blondie off the first record, Ex Offender, I could have picked In the Flesh or In the Sun, rip her to shreds as well. But Ex Offender, again, on my Mood Music Spring compilation, that would be on there. You could pretty much pick every song off of this record and you wouldn't go wrong. I don't mind, I mentioned before, off of Another Music in a Different Kitchen, just absolutely love. It's really completely unfair to be choosing songs off. This is such a strong record, singles going steady. Anybody who's got any interest in kind of checking out the Buzzcocks, this is the record to get. And Why Can't I Touch It? A little shout out to Mark, my friend Mark, as he kind of reminded me of how great that song is, and it's quite long, and it's just a great theme. But I'm going to go with, I have to go with, where are we? Harmony in My Head. My brother Andrew, you're not going to be disappointed if you're watching. Harmony in My Head is just exquisite. Again, beautiful needle drop, and just the almost yelled vocals and the chorus is it's great. Buzzcocks, singles going steady, Harmony in My Head. In university, I had a radio show and I called it Harmony in My Head. I just love the song so much I had to give a show title for that. Another one that just exquisite springtime music, The Damned, after this album, Machine Gun Etiquette. There's just a ton of great stuff in here. Love song, I Just Can't Be Happy Today, but Smash It Up Part 1, holy smokes, that's so good. These guys, sloppy, exuberant. It's kind of funny, right? When you get so sloppy because of the exuberance, it just makes it better, I think. So The Damn, Machine Gun Etiquette, and the song Smash It Up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now you gotta, with spring, you've got to have some soul stuff. I was thinking about all those great Stax singles, Motown singles, Marvin Gaye, things like that. But I'm going to bring up Terence Trent D'Arby. This was a record that he's now, I think, he's changed his name. I don't know the full story, so I'm not going to go into it. But released this record originally under the name Terence Trent D'Arby, and this was just a soul. Killer, just fantastic, really, really great. Sign Your Name, really slinky, beautiful production, and it's just the kind of song where you can just go out of the house with your head bopping. So Terence Trent D'Arby, Sign Your Name. It was a single, I think, and understandably so. Spring, you got to have Jesus and Mary Chain. And in particular, April Skies. I love that song, but there's so much on this record, which is so good. Darklands is great. 9 Million Rainy Days, perfect for spring and for Vancouver for 8 months of the year, I guess. But Jesus and Mary Chain, just, this is like bubblegum pop, but with lots of fuzzy guitars and distortion. So what a perfect combination. Love this record. Love the band, just fabulous. And Echo and the Bunny Men, it's not necessarily my favorite record, but the single Lips Like Sugar, just so good. Beautiful band kind of sound, and very catchy. Again, a perfect needle drop and a perfect one for the spring compilation cassette/CD and mood music, spring music. Echo and the Bunny Men. I'm going to close off with one I talked about in another episode on my singles, but I've been playing this one. Superman, REM. The 7-inch single really is the epitome of like a single song that you're going to play that resonates for your mood, And generally 7-inch singles are pretty poppy and pretty high energy, right? So I'm going to choose this as just kind of one example of that. The other big part about singles sometimes is they don't appear on albums, and this one is not on at least any of the regular releases from REM. I'm not sure if it's on a compilation, but Superman, fantastic song. I think it was a cover. I don't think that they wrote it, but I may be wrong there. But super catchy, great harmonies, the embodiment of really what you look for in a spring song. So, mood music. Springtime. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Flowers coming out, and it's time to get outside and enjoy nature with the soundtrack. Carpe diem, MFs.